Okay, so there's the 2.5 inches added in. It doesn't look very beautiful yet. I got some dents here from just hammering and dolling just the basic shape. I plan on, like, this is ground flush on this side because this is the back that you see when you open the trunk. So my goal is to make this look smooth. So I will Bondo this once it's in the car, or putty, whatever you want to call it, filler. This is the other side, so you can see the tack welds all the way along. It's not 100% done. I still got to go back and fill in the holes. Pardon me. And I did use screws periodically to pull in. I did fill the majority of them already, but I do have to do that. So now I'm going to take the grinder and get rid of those roll welds and try to separate this outer, because then I can weld this in from the inside as well. That's my goal, and then once I have it off, it'll be easier to hammer and all these out. So that's what's next. Just gonna take a grinder and a cutting wheel and notch out that roll weld all the way along. So what I did was I just took the grinder with the cutoff wheel and I just went on an angle and gouged out that roll weld until you can see the metal discolor pretty well. See how she kind of discolors? I figure that's when the metal's getting pretty thin on that one side. You can see this side's undisturbed. Now take an air chisel and try to divide it and see how that goes. So here it is after I air chiseled off the back side. Well, I air chiseled this way to get the flange up. And then I air chiseled from the back side. If I had to do it again, I would go just a bit thinner and a bit wider. But this is the last car that I'll be doing this to anyway. At least in my current state. So this little flange that's left, all I'm gonna do is take a flapper wheel. And just get rid of all this. Get it smooth, back down original. You can see the original flanges are starting to get quite a bit of surface rust in them. I don't think this car was stored very well. But that gives you the basic how I did it. So a few things are gonna happen now. I'm gonna weld the inside flange here, the inside face here, back to the wheel well on both sides. And then I'm gonna grind it down a little bit, just take any bubblegum tacks off. Other than that, it's gonna get seam sealed and stay there. Hopefully I can get this sandblasted before I put it together with the other one. The last thing I did do that I didn't show you guys is I did make my marks, and all I did was take a mathematic, I forget what these things are called, doesn't matter. Anyway, it has a pencil on the inside. I tried to keep this square, and I just ran my mark. This here, I started cutting it to all the way around into there. Now the problem comes is that seat belt bolt, right? I'm gonna hit it. So on the other side, I took it right off, and I'm just gonna mount it about 2 inches lower, 2 inches lower in here, and turn the bracket around. So it's at about the same height. Shouldn't affect it too much. Plus, it's not really gonna be a lot of people in the back seat anyway. So there you go. That's where I'm gonna be doing for the next few days, and then I'll get to the fitting. So here's the bracket, seat belt bracket. It goes in like this, and just line up that hole there. So I'm going to put it in just further down, probably just in there. So just as close as I can to the new structure. So it'll probably be in here somewhere. So now I'm going to cut this out all the way around and trial fit. You know, you trial fit a whole bunch on these to try to get the fit correct. This will also get cleaned up. Sorry, I still got it in my hand. It's got some of the factory undercoating still on it. That's been painted purple, or plum crazy purple, from the last guy that tried to restore this car. So yeah, the other side is off as well. I'll put them in later. But for now, go there, along with the bolt here. that. Okay, so I cut out the vehicle part. So you can see the lip here. I buffed the old undercoating off. And I buffed back the lip. So these will get welded together and then ground flush again, just like I did on the air side. And I left this flange here so that it can follow, you know, the final deal up to the frame. That was my theory. And I'll have to add one in back here just to finish this off. But I also have to change the way the inside of the trunk looks. If you look at one of my other videos there, Introduction to YouTube, it shows the other side. And you'll see this side too eventually, but for now that's what's happening. So I'm gonna trial fit a bit and we'll get to that. So I just kind of stuck the inner wheel well in. You can see the 2 holes that I said I was using as alignment marks before. I have pins in just to kind of help hold it there. And I'm just looking at the cut. I think I'm pretty good at the end because this can move in yet. And then I'll have to doctor up just that part there, but this back area, it's all pushed in, tightens right up. And that's what I want to see. So it's pretty good. I'll have a little patch there to make on that inner side where I missed a bit. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe I can get away with just cutting this up and pushing it in. Hammer it in, because I trimmed this off on the other side as well, so that it didn't go down as far. But I have to seal this in to the rocker, but up here I cut this part off. It didn't go as far. But I'm not quite done yet anyway. What I'll do is I'll line her up some more. You can see I just put a dowel in there. And then I'll screw it to the back frame once the frame's welded. But I think I'm good there until I put the other one in. So that's what I'm gonna do.